A millionaire pretended to be paralyzed and poor on a blind date until a clumsy waitress sat at the wrong table and changed his destiny. Before we begin the story, leave a comment telling us which city you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. Oliver Wright adjusted the wheelchair he had borrowed for the third time that morning. He let out a deep breath, looking at his distorted reflection in the cafe window. A millionaire CEO pretending to be poor and paralyzed for a blind date. If anyone on the board found out, they would think he had lost his mind. But Oliver was tired. Tired of calculated smiles, of women who memorized the value of his company's stocks before memorizing his name. Tired of being seen as a walking wallet wearing an Italian suit. This time it would be different, or disastrous. Probably both. He positioned himself at the back table near the window, exactly as arranged. The cafe was moderately busy. Oliver tapped his fingers on the wooden table, feeling his stomach twist with nerves. The cafe door swung open, making the little bell ring frantically. Luna Hayes walked in like a burst of energy, her brown hair slightly messy, her bag hanging unevenly on her shoulder. She stopped for a second, her eyes scanning the place with urgency. She was late. Very late. Back table, she murmured to herself, remembering her friend's instructions. He'll be at the back table. Her eyes found Oliver, alone at the last table near the window. There? That was him. Luna crossed the cafe in quick steps, her expression shifting into a wide smile. She pulled out the chair without hesitation and sat down, dropping her bag on the floor with a dramatic sigh. "Sorry I'm late," Luna began, running her hands through her hair in an impossible attempt to fix it. "You won't believe the morning I had. First, my sister decided today was the perfect day to try making pancakes by herself. Pancakes. The kitchen turned into a war zone. There was flour even on the ceiling, I swear. Then, when I finally managed to leave the house, the bus simply didn't show up. It just disappeared. I waited 20 minutes until I realized the bus company had a holiday today. Who gives a holiday in a bus company? People always need transportation." Oliver blinked, trying to keep up with the whirlwind of words. He opened his mouth to introduce himself, but Luna was already continuing. "So I took a cab, but the driver was convinced he knew a shortcut. A shortcut. We went around the whole city. I ended up paying double and still arrived late." She finally paused, took a deep breath, and extended her hand. "But I'm here now, ready to talk about this extra weekend job." "Job?" Oliver frowned slightly but shook her hand. Luna's palm was warm, her grip firm and sincere. He tried. "You seem like a good person." Luna interrupted again, leaning forward with her elbows on the table. "You know, my friend said you were reliable, but we never know, right? The other day she recommended a waitress job for me at a wedding, and when I got there I realized it was actually for me to serve food dressed as a flamingo." "A flamingo? Who thinks of these things?" Oliver felt his lips turn into an involuntary smile. There was something absolutely magnetic about that woman, the way her hands moved animatedly while she spoke, the way her eyes lit up with every absurd story. "That sounds interesting," he managed to say, when Luna paused to drink a sip of water from the glass the waiter had brought. "Interesting is a polite way to say strange," Luna laughed, and the sound filled something inside Oliver's chest he didn't even know was empty. "But what can we do, right? Work is work. Speaking of that, this job you have for me, it's something normal, right? No animal costumes or juggling performances?" No costumes," Oliver replied, already caught up in the misunderstanding without realizing it. He assumed she was nervous, testing him. Maybe that was just how she handled blind dates. He found it charming. "Great, because my coordination is terrible. The other day I dropped 3 plates at the restaurant. 3, at the same time. My boss almost had a heart attack." Luna laughed at herself, shaking her head. "But hey, at least I can do the basics well. I'm punctual, except today, but you saw the reasons. I'm responsible, and I learn fast." Oliver was completely fascinated. It had been years since someone talked to him like that. With no hidden motives, no calculating looks measuring the value of his watch. Luna talked to him as if he were a normal person. "What do you do for work?" he asked, genuinely interested. I work at anything that comes my way," Luna said naturally. "Morning and night at the restaurant, and on weekends I do some extra jobs. I have to keep the bills paid, you know." My younger sister is in school, and I promised my mother before she died that I would do everything so that girl could have a better life than ours." The sudden vulnerability in Luna's voice made Oliver's heart tighten. He knew corporate ambition, he knew business strategy, but that strength, that raw, honest determination, was something completely different. "That is admirable," Oliver said softly. "It is survival," Luna shrugged, but her smile was genuine. The minutes passed like seconds. They talked about everything and nothing. Luna told hilarious stories from the restaurant, and Oliver laughed in a way he had not laughed in years. For a moment, he forgot about the wheelchair, forgot about the lie, forgot who he truly was. Until the cafe door opened again. A tall woman, perfectly dressed, walked in with the look of someone searching for someone. Her eyes found Oliver, then Luna, and her expression closed instantly. "Oliver, right?" she asked, her cold voice moving straight toward the table. Oliver's blood froze. Luna blinked, confused, looking between the two. "Right? I thought you were—" "Who is this woman at my table?" the newcomer demanded, arms crossed. Realization hit Luna like a bucket of cold water. Wrong table. Wrong man. She had sat at the wrong table. Oh my goodness. Luna stood up quickly, her face burning. "I thought you—" Oliver understood everything in that moment too. Luna was not his blind date. She had mixed up the tables, and he had mixed up everything too. The whole cafe seemed to have stopped to watch. And somehow, Oliver could not stop looking at Luna, even with his real date standing beside them, waiting for an explanation. The silence in the cafe was so heavy that Luna could hear the faint buzz of the coffee machine in the back. Every pair of eyes was fixed on the table in the corner, where the most awkward triangle in the history of blind dates had formed. The woman with high heels and perfect posture looked Luna up and down with an expression that mixed indignation and superiority. "Really? You came here to try to steal my date? What kind of person does that?" Luna felt her face heat up, but not from embarrassment. It was pure irritation. She had made an honest mistake, and that woman was acting as if she had planned some kind of elaborate scheme. "Steal?" Luna repeated, placing her hands on her hips. "Ma'am, if I wanted to steal anything, it definitely would not be a blind date in a cafe with weak Wi-Fi and reheated coffee. I mixed up the tables, all right? It happens. Relax, your Prince Charming is still available." Some customers laughed quietly. The woman turned red. "You are extremely rude. Oliver, are you going to let this intruder talk to me like that?" Oliver looked between the two women, completely lost about what to do. Part of him knew he should apologize and try to save the planned date. But the other part, the bigger, more honest part, could not stop admiring the way Luna defended herself with humor and dignity. "An intruder?" Luna let out an incredulous laugh. "Look, I understand that you are upset, but you do not have to treat me as if I broke into the White House. It was a misunderstanding. I came here for a work meeting, saw a man alone at the back table, and assumed he was the person I was looking for. That is all. No conspiracy, no hidden intention, just a tired woman who mixed up a table." "Work meeting?" The woman narrowed her eyes. "You expect me to believe that?" "Frankly, I do not care if you believe it or not." Luna picked up her bag from the floor with a firm movement. "But let me give you some free advice. If you keep treating people this way, you will end up with many canceled dates. Good luck with your life, ma'am. You will need it." Luna turned to Oliver, and for a moment their eyes met. There was something there. A strange connection. An unexplained chemistry that had appeared during those minutes of confused conversation. "It was a pleasure meeting you, even by mistake," Luna said with a genuine smile. "Sorry for the confusion." She began to walk away, but Oliver found himself doing something completely impulsive. "Wait," he called, pushing the wheelchair toward her. Luna stopped, surprised. The other woman stood speechless. "Oliver, what are you doing?" But Oliver was no longer listening. For the first time in years, he was doing something he truly wanted, not something he was supposed to do. "You're right," he said to the woman from the date, keeping his tone polite but firm. "There was a misunderstanding, and I would rather keep talking to Luna if she doesn't mind." The whole cafe let out a collective gasp. Someone even applauded. The woman grabbed her purse in a sharp, offended motion, her face red with indignation. "This is ridiculous. You're choosing that strange girl instead of me?" "I am," Oliver replied simply. She walked out with heavy steps, slamming the door behind her. The little bell jingled in a way that was almost comical. Luna looked at Oliver, a mix of surprise and amusement on her face. "You just sent your date away because of me? Wow, I hope you don't regret that when you find out I'm really a walking disaster." Oliver laughed. "I think I'll take the risk. Want to go to that park nearby, away from all the curious eyes?" Luna glanced around the cafe, where almost all the customers were still staring at them with interest. "Good idea. Let's go before someone takes a picture and this turns into a meme." A few minutes later, they were sitting on a bench in the nearby park. It was a simple place, with old trees offering generous shade and children running after pigeons. Oliver had positioned a wheelchair next to the bench where Luna sat. "So," Luna began, looking at him with genuine curiosity, "tell me something. Why would someone like you go on a blind date? You seem, I don't know, polite, interesting. Surely you don't need help meeting people." Oliver felt the weight of the lie on his shoulders. Sometimes it's hard to meet real people, people who see you for who you are, not for other things. "I get it," Luna nodded thoughtfully. "It's like when people find out you've got some money saved and suddenly everyone wants to be your best friend." Oliver almost laughed at the irony. If only she knew. Something like that. "And you? What's your story?" Luna sighed, stretching her legs out. "My story is simple and complicated at the same time. I work mornings at La Bella restaurant, and I take the afternoon shift too when they need me, and on weekends I take any job I can find. Serving at events, delivering orders. One time I even worked as a clown at a kids' party. Don't ask, it was traumatic for everyone involved." Oliver laughed, imagining the scene. "I support my younger sister, Mia. She's 15, and the reason I do all of this. Our mom passed away 3 years ago, and before she left, she made me promise I would take care of Mia. Give her the chances we never had. So that's what I do. I work until I drop, save every penny, and make sure that girl has everything she needs." Her voice was firm, but Oliver could hear the exhaustion beneath the determination. "That's amazing," he said sincerely. "You must be exhausted all the time." "Oh, exhausted is my natural state now," Luna joked. "But it's worth it. Mia is smart, funny, and has a bright future ahead. I just need to make sure she gets there." "And your dreams?" Oliver asked. "What do you want for yourself?" Luna stayed silent for a moment, watching the children in the park. "Honestly, right now my dream is paying the rent on time and maybe someday having a day off where I can sleep in without feeling guilty. Big dreams can wait. First I need to secure the basics." Oliver felt his chest tighten. This woman worked nonstop, sacrificed everything for someone she loved, and still kept her humor and lightness. It was something he rarely saw in his world of executives and board meetings. "You're amazing, Luna," he said softly. Luna looked at him, surprised, then smiled. "You're not bad either, mysterious guy who hasn't really told me what he does for a living." "I work with technology," Oliver answered, which wasn't exactly a lie. "Nothing too exciting. Everyone says that until I find out they program space rockets or something," Luna joked. They talked for more than an hour, losing track of time. Oliver couldn't remember the last time he had felt so comfortable with someone. Luna had a way of seeing the world that was both practical and hopeful, and her humor made even her hardest stories feel lighter. When they finally said goodbye, they exchanged phone numbers. "It was strange, but it was nice," Luna said with a smile. "Thanks for choosing to talk to me, instead of going after Miss High Heels." "Best decision I've ever made," Oliver replied. And it was true. Luna walked to the bus stop, waving one last time before getting on. Oliver watched until the bus disappeared around the corner. The bus rattled along the road, and Luna rested her head against the window, a soft smile still playing on her lips. It had been a crazy day, but somehow it had been good. Very good. But when she got off at the stop near her building, reality hit hard. Stuck to the door of her apartment, impossible to ignore, was a yellow paper. An eviction notice. Luna felt her stomach twist. She tore the paper from the door quickly, folded it, and slipped it into her pocket before any neighbor could see it. Inside the apartment, she found Mia in the living room doing homework. "Hi, how was the work meeting?" Mia asked, looking up with a smile. "It was interesting." Luna forced a smile, hiding the tension. "I'm going to make dinner, all right?" In the kitchen, while she prepared pasta, the cheapest and easiest meal they had, Luna took the paper out of her pocket and read it again. 3 months late, 15 days to move out or settle the debt. She did the math in her head. What she earned barely covered basic expenses and Mia's school. There was nothing left to cut. They were already living with the bare minimum. She needed more work. Fast. The next morning, Luna woke up before sunrise, made breakfast for Mia, and left home with a list of addresses. Stores, restaurants, cafes, anywhere that might be hiring. Sorry, we're not looking for anyone right now. Do you have sales experience? No? Then it won't work. We can call you if something comes up. All the answers were variations of the same thing. No. At the 10th place, a small cafe downtown, Luna was already starting to lose hope. Please, she said to the manager, a middle-aged man with a tired expression. I work hard, I'm punctual, I learn fast. I just need a few hours a week, any schedule you have. The man sighed. Look, girl, I actually believe you, but we just cut half the staff because of low sales. I can't hire anyone right now. Luna thanked him and left, the discouragement weighing on her shoulders. It was almost 2 in the afternoon when she finally gave up and went straight to her shift at La Bella. At least there she was sure of a salary, even if it wasn't enough. While she served tables and forced smiles for the customers, her mind kept calculating. 15 days. She needed money in 15 days, and she had no idea where she would get it. The following days brought an unexpected routine for Luna. Between shifts at the restaurant and looking for extra jobs, there was Oliver. They had started meeting whenever possible, usually late in the afternoon when Luna had 1 or 2 free hours before her night shift. Their first meeting after the plaza was at a cheap ice cream shop near the restaurant. Luna ordered the most affordable flavor and laughed when Oliver did the same. You know you can choose 2 flavors for the same price, right? She pointed to the menu. But you only ordered 1, Oliver replied. Touché, Luna licked the vanilla ice cream, smiling. Let me tell you about my day. You're gonna laugh. There was a customer today who swore he ordered ribs, but when I brought them, he said he asked for chicken. Fine, I took it back. Then he complained the chicken was dry. I brought another one. Then he said he actually wanted fish. Fish? In the end, do you know what he ate? A salad. A simple salad that wasn't even on the original order. Oliver laughed so hard he almost dropped his ice cream. Was he testing you? I think he was testing my patience, and spoiler, I almost failed. Luna rolled her eyes dramatically. But then he left a generous tip, so I forgive the 5 trips I made to the kitchen. On their next meeting, they walked through a flea market. Oliver pushed the wheelchair with ease, and Luna commented on every stall with sharp humor. Look at that lamp, she pointed at an object that looked like it had survived several decades. I bet if you turn it on, it opens a portal to the 70s. It probably comes with disco music and bell-bottom pants. You have an amazing imagination, Oliver said, impressed. That's what happens when you can't afford Netflix. We make up our own stories, Luna joked, but there was a truth there that Oliver understood. On their 3rd meeting, they were sitting on a bench by a small lake. Luna was talking about a kitchen disaster at the restaurant where the chef had confused salt with sugar in an entire sauce. People were eating and making that face like they were trying to be polite, but you could see in their eyes that something was very wrong. Luna gestured animatedly. Until someone finally said the sauce was sweeter than a birthday cake. The chef turned red, tasted it, and almost fainted. We had to redo everything. It was crazy. Oliver laughed, but he was also paying attention. Over the past few days, he had started to notice things about Luna. The way she always checked prices before ordering anything. How her clothes were simple but always clean and well taken care of. How she never complained about being tired, even though sometimes he caught a yawn slipping out when she thought he was not looking. And Luna was noticing things about Oliver as well. His posture was strangely elegant for someone who supposedly had few resources. His vocabulary was rich and precise. He knew cultural references she had only heard about. One time, he mentioned a wine he had tried in Italy, and when she asked when he had traveled there, he stuttered and changed the subject quickly. You are a bit mysterious, you know, Luna said one day while they shared a sandwich in a cheap diner. Oliver almost choked. Mysterious? Me? Yes, there's something about you that does not add up. Like a puzzle where some pieces seem to belong to a different set, Luna studied him with curiosity. But it is fine. Everyone has their secrets. Oliver felt the weight of guilt grow heavier. Each day that passed, it became harder to keep the lie. He wanted to tell the truth, wanted to remove that artificial distance he had created. But the fear was stronger. Luna was the first person in years who saw him as a real human being, not as a walking bank. How would she react when she discovered who he really was? Luna, meanwhile, carried her own burden in silence. The eviction notice burned in her mind constantly. 10 days left. 9 days. 8. She had looked for jobs every free moment she had, but nothing came up. At night, when Mia slept, Luna stayed awake doing numbers that never worked out. But during the day, with Oliver, she allowed herself to forget for a few hours. She allowed herself to laugh, relax, feel light. "Have you ever stopped to think," Luna began one day while they waited for their orders in a small diner, "how the world is absurdly unfair?" Oliver looked at her, surprised by the shift in tone. "Like there are people out there who spend more on a purse than I make in 3 months. People who never had to choose between paying the electric bill or buying food, who live in huge bubbles, completely disconnected from the reality most people live in." Luna stirred her soda with the straw, thoughtful. "And I am not angry at those people, you know. I just think it is sad that many of them do not even notice. They live their lives thinking everyone has the same opportunities, that you just have to work hard and everything works out. But that is not how it works." Oliver felt each word like an arrow. He was exactly the type of person Luna was describing. Until a few weeks ago, he had never stopped to really think about how much an electric bill cost or what it meant to choose between basic needs. "You are right," he said softly. "It is unfair. But what can we do, right?" Luna sighed, then smiled. "We do the best we can with what we have. And maybe someday things will get better. I believe that. I have to believe it. Otherwise there is no way to keep going." Oliver admired her strength. Even carrying so much, even fighting every day, Luna had not lost her hope or her humor. She was, without a doubt, the most incredible person he had ever met. "You are extraordinary, Luna," he said, his eyes fixed on her. Luna laughed, embarrassed. "You really need to meet better people if you think I am extraordinary. I am just a clumsy waitress trying to survive. You are much more than that." There was something in Oliver's voice that made Luna stop and look at him for real. For a moment, the world around them seemed to slow down. She felt something move in her chest, something warm and frightening at the same time. "Oliver, she began, but was interrupted by the shrill sound of her phone. It was an unknown number. Luna answered, frowning. "Hello? Miss Hayes? This is the Central School office. We are calling about your sister Mia." Luna's heart raced. "What happened? Is she okay?" "Physically she is fine, but there was an incident. Mia has been suspended for 3 days. We need you to come to the school immediately for a meeting with the principal." Luna felt the world spin. Yes, of course. I will be there in 20 minutes. She hung up the phone with trembling hands. Mia had never gotten into trouble. Never. She was a great student, responsible, never gave any reason for concern. "What happened?" Oliver asked, worried. "My sister was suspended. I need to go to the school now." Luna was already standing, grabbing her bag with quick and nervous movements. "I am going with you," Oliver said, already moving the chair. "You do not have to. I want to go. Please." Luna looked at him, saw the sincerity in his eyes, and nodded. At that moment, she had no energy to argue. She only needed to get to Mia and understand what had happened. They left the diner in a hurry, Luna already waving for a taxi while Oliver followed her. The lightness of the last few days had disappeared, replaced by a tension that tightened Luna's chest like a vice. Mia. Her little girl. What could have happened? The taxi crossed the city at a pace that felt painfully slow to Luna. She tapped her fingers on her knee, staring out the window without really seeing anything. Oliver was beside her, the wheelchair folded in the trunk, and he could feel the tension radiating from her in waves. "She's going to be all right," Oliver said softly. "You don't know Mia. She never gets in trouble. Never. The girl is practically a teenage saint, if that even exists." Luna bit her lower lip. For the school to suspend her, it must have been something serious. When they finally arrived at Central School, Luna practically jumped out of the car. Oliver paid the driver and quickly set up his wheelchair, following Luna, who was almost running toward the entrance. The front office directed them to the principal's room. Mia was sitting in a chair in the hallway, her eyes red and swollen from crying so much. When she saw Luna, she stood up and ran to hug her. "I'm so sorry, Lou. I'm really sorry," Mia sobbed against her sister's shoulder. It's all right. Luna stroked her hair, even though her own heart was racing. "We'll solve this." The principal, Mrs. Patterson, a middle-aged woman with thick-framed glasses, called them into her office. Oliver waited in the hallway, but Luna looked at him and gestured for him to come in as well. "Miss Hayes, thank you for coming so quickly," the principal began, sitting behind her desk. "We had a serious incident today during lunch." "What exactly happened?" Luna asked, keeping her voice steady even though she was shaking inside. The principal sighed. "Mia got into a heated argument with 3 classmates. According to witnesses, the other girls were making comments about your financial situation." Luna felt her face heat up. Mia began to cry again. "They said my clothes were from a thrift store," Mia sniffed. "They said we were poor and that I should stop pretending I had money to be in that school, that I was only here because of a scholarship, and that I was taking the place of someone who really deserved it." Luna's heart broke into 1,000 pieces, but she stayed composed. "And what did you do, Mia?" "I said they didn't know anything. That you work harder than their spoiled parents put together. That our situation doesn't define who I am or what I can achieve." Mia wiped her tears. Then one of them laughed and said, "You probably couldn't even pay the rent." And I lost my patience. I yelled at them. I said things I shouldn't have said. Mia pushed one of the girls. The principal added, "We have 0 tolerance for physical aggression." "She pushed me first," Mia protested. "She got close to me and pushed me against the locker." "The other girls deny that," the principal said, but her tone suggested she wasn't fully convinced. Luna took a deep breath. Oliver watched, fascinated, as she processed everything, her expression shifting from worry to determination. "Mrs. Patterson, with all due respect, my sister has been at this school for 2 years. She has never, not once, gotten into trouble. She has excellent grades, participates in activities, she is a model student. Do these other girls have a record of exemplary behavior as well?" The principal hesitated. "Well, one of them has had a few warnings for bullying. So let me understand." Luna leaned slightly forward but kept a respectful posture. "My sister was provoked, possibly pushed first by girls with a history of problems, defended herself, and she's the only one being suspended." "The school rules are clear." "The rules should protect all students equally," Luna interrupted, but her voice remained calm. "Mia shouldn't have to listen to cruel comments about our situation. We didn't choose to be poor, Mrs. Patterson. We work hard every day. And my sister deserves to be here just as much as anyone else." There was a moment of silence. The principal adjusted her glasses, clearly impressed by the way Luna had stood her ground without losing respect or composure. "You're right," the principal finally said. "I will review the case. The other girls will also be called in with their parents. Mia will still have a suspension, but it will be only 1 day, not 3, and we will introduce a discussion about respect and inclusion with the entire class." Luna nodded, satisfied. "Thank you for listening. That is all I ask." When they left the school, Mia hugged Luna again. "You were amazing in there. You were brave for standing up for yourself." Luna kissed the top of her sister's head. "But next time, try using words instead of pushing, all right?" "Okay," Mia agreed, then noticed Oliver for the first time. "Hi, are you Oliver?" Oliver smiled. "Yes, I am. Nice to meet you, Mia." "Luna talks about you," Mia said, making Luna turn red. "Oh, she does?" Oliver looked at Luna with an amused smile. "Just basic things, like that you exist. Nothing important," Luna said quickly. "Shall we go home?" Luna's apartment was small but clean and welcoming. There were photos on the walls, plants by the window, and a feeling of home that surprised Oliver. He had seen multi-million-dollar houses that felt empty and without soul. This place, even though humble, had life. "Sorry about the mess," Luna said, even though the place was perfectly organized. "It is great," Oliver replied sincerely. Luna prepared a simple dinner, pasta with homemade sauce and salad. During the meal, Mia began to relax, and Luna returned to her usual funny self. Let me tell you about the customer we had last week, Luna began, her eyes shining. The man ordered a well-done steak. Fine. I brought the steak. He looked at it, cut it, chewed it, and said it was too well done. Too much. How can something be too well done when you ordered well done? Oliver laughed. What did you do? I asked if he wanted me to go back in time and ask the cow to exercise a little more so it would be softer, Luna answered with a straight face. My boss almost killed me, but the customer laughed and said the steak was actually great. Mia burst out laughing. You did not say that. Yes, I did. Sometimes you have to answer nonsense with nonsense. Oliver laughed so hard that tears ran down his face. It had been such a long time since he felt this way. Light, happy, part of something real. After dinner, while Mia was in the bedroom doing her homework, Oliver tried to bring up a delicate subject. Luna, I know you value your independence, but if you ever need help with anything at all, I would like to be able to help. Luna stopped putting the dishes away and looked at him. Oliver, you are kind, but I do not need charity. It is not charity. It is friendship. Friends help each other. Friends also respect when the other says they can handle things on their own, Luna said firmly, but not unkindly. I know you want to help, and I truly appreciate that, but accepting money or favors, that changes things. I need to know I can take care of myself and Mia with my own strength. Oliver admired her strength, but he also felt frustration. If she knew who he really was, if she knew he could solve all her problems with one phone call, but at the same time, it was exactly that independence that attracted him so much. Luna did not want a savior. She wanted to be her own hero. I understand, he said finally. But the offer still stands, always. Luna smiled and gently touched his hand. Thank you. When Oliver left that night, he felt more divided than ever. The lie about who he was weighed more and more. But the fear of losing Luna weighed even more. The next morning, Luna woke up early for her extra weekend shift at a department store. It was a job she had gotten a few months earlier, only on Saturdays and Sundays, but it helped increase her income. When she arrived, she found the manager at the door with a worried expression. Luna, can we talk? 20 minutes later, Luna was back on the street without the job. The store was making cuts and weekend employees were the first to go. Luna leaned against the building wall, closing her eyes. 6 days to pay the rent, one less job, and no idea how to fix it. For the first time in a long time, Luna felt the pressure threaten to break her. But she took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and began walking. Giving up was not an option. It never had been. She just needed to find the next step. Luna spent the rest of that Saturday walking around the city, entering every place that had a "Now Hiring" sign in the window. By the end of the day, her legs hurt and she had a collection of "We will keep your resume on file" that meant absolutely nothing. When she arrived at La Bella restaurant for the evening shift, she found her boss, Mr. Morrison, taking inventory in the stockroom. Mr. Morrison, she began, trying to sound casual, do you think it would be possible for me to take some extra shifts? Maybe on Sunday mornings too? The gray-haired man looked at her over his glasses. Luna, you already work here 6 days a week. When do you rest? Rest is overrated, Luna tried to joke, but her voice came out too tired to sound convincing. Mr. Morrison sighed. Look, I'd give you more hours if I could, but we're already fully staffed. In fact, if sales don't pick up, I might have to cut hours, not add them. Luna felt her stomach twist, but she forced a smile. I understand. It's okay. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city, Oliver was in his home office. The computer screen displayed financial reports, but his eyes couldn't focus on the numbers. His mind was completely occupied with Luna. The phone rang. It was Jack, his best friend and the company's vice president. You disappeared, Jack said bluntly. You skipped 3 meetings this week. What's going on? Oliver rubbed his face. I met someone. Let me guess, you're still pretending to be poor and in a wheelchair? It's complicated, Jack. It's a lie, Oliver. That's what it is, Jack sighed on the other end. Look, I get why you started this. I really do. But secrets have an expiration date, and the longer you let this go, the worse the fallout will be. I know, she's different, Jack. She's real. And I'm afraid that if she finds out who I am, everything will change. So you'd rather build an entire relationship based on lies? Oliver had no answer for that. In the days that followed, Oliver and Luna kept meeting whenever they could. Oliver noticed that Luna seemed more tired, more tense, even though she tried to hide it. He wanted so badly to help her, to take that weight off her shoulders, but he knew she would refuse. And each day, the lie grew heavier. One Wednesday afternoon, they met at the park where they had talked for the first time after the cafe incident. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. Luna was sitting on the bench, looking at the lake, and Oliver noticed she seemed lost in thought. "A penny for your thoughts," he said gently. Luna smiled, but it was a tired smile. "My thoughts aren't worth even that. I'm just thinking about life, about how sometimes it feels like we're running on a treadmill. You work, 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 but never move forward." "Are you okay?" Oliver asked, worried. "I am," Luna lied, then sighed. "No, I'm not, actually. But I will be. I always am. It's like my superpower, the ability to keep going even when everything is falling apart." Oliver took her hand. "You don't have to be strong all the time." "I do. There are people counting on me." They stayed quiet for a moment, just watching the ripples on the water. "Can I tell you something?" Luna finally said, her voice lower. "I'm scared." "Of what?" "This, us." She looked at him. "It's been so long since I let anyone get close. I built these huge walls because it's easier not to feel than to risk getting hurt. But you're getting past those walls without even trying, and that terrifies me." Oliver's heart pounded. "Luna, Let me finish," she gently interrupted. "I like you, Oliver. A lot. In a way I didn't expect. And it's scary because I can't afford to get distracted, to fall in love, to put my heart on the line. But at the same time, when I'm with you, for the first time in a long time, I feel light. As if for a few moments I can just be Luna. Not the provider, not the responsible one, just me." Oliver felt a rush of emotion so strong it almost knocked him over. Without thinking, he leaned in and kissed her. The kiss was soft, full of unspoken promises and deep feelings. When they pulled away, they were both breathless. "Luna Hayes," Oliver said, his voice rough with emotion. "Would you be my girlfriend?" Luna blinked, surprised, then laughed, a genuine happy sound. "You're asking me to date you? Just like that, out of nowhere? In the middle of the park?" "I am, and I know it's fast, but I don't want to waste time. Life is too short not to chase what makes you happy." Luna looked at him for a long moment, and Oliver could see the conflict in her eyes, fear battling desire. "Yes," she finally said, a slow smile spreading across her face. "But let's take it slow, okay? I need time to get used to this whole having someone thing." "All the time you need," Oliver promised, and he almost told her everything in that moment. He almost told her about the money, the company, the wheelchair lie. But fear held him back. The fear of seeing that smile disappear. The fear of losing her. "I'll always be by your side," he said instead, and felt the weight of the lie grow even heavier. They stayed in the park until the sun had completely set, talking about everything and nothing, stealing occasional kisses like teenagers. For the first time in weeks, Luna allowed herself to forget her worries. For the first time in years, Oliver felt truly connected to someone. When they finally decided to leave, it was already night. They walked through the lit streets, Luna pushing Oliver's wheelchair in a relaxed way, laughing at a silly story she was telling about a customer who had tried to pay the bill with expired discount coupons. "He had like 100 coupons, all from 2019, Luna gestured animatedly. "And when I said we couldn't accept them, he was offended. He started quoting laws that I'm sure he made up on the spot. It was funny and embarrassing at the same time." Oliver laughed, completely charmed. "How do you handle that and still stay sane?" "Who said I stay sane?" Luna joked. "I just pretend very well." That was when Oliver noticed a man on the other side of the street with a large camera. The man was looking right at him, and when their eyes met, the photographer lifted the camera. Flash. Oliver's heart stopped. "What was that?" Luna asked, having also noticed the flash. "I don't know," Oliver lied, watching the man cross the street quickly and disappear into a car. But he knew exactly what it was. A paparazzi, someone who had recognized him, and that meant his time was running out. The truth was about to come out, whether he wanted it or not. Luna looked in the direction the man had gone, confused. "That was strange. Why would someone take our picture?" "He probably confused us with other people," Oliver said, trying to keep his voice casual, even though his heart was racing. Luna shrugged, accepting the explanation, but Oliver could barely breathe. The house of cards he had built was about to collapse, and he had no idea how to stop it. Oliver barely slept that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the flash of the camera, heard the click that marked the end of everything he had built with Luna. At 5 a.m, he gave up trying to sleep and grabbed his phone. 3 messages from Jack, all with links to the same article. His stomach twisted even before opening it. Millionaire CEO Oliver Wright seen with mysterious woman, screamed the headline. The photo showed him and Luna on the street, she pushing the wheelchair, both of them smiling. It looked like an innocent image, but the text that came with it was devastating. After weeks away from the social scene, billionaire TechVision CEO Oliver Wright was photographed in an intimate moment with an unidentified woman. Sources close to him speculate about who the new companion of the city's most desired bachelor might be. Oliver threw the phone onto the sofa and covered his face with his hands. It was over. Everything was over. He needed to reach Luna before she found out. He needed to be the one to tell her. Needed the chance to explain. He grabbed his car keys and left, completely forgetting about the wheelchair that had become part of his lie. That morning, Luna arrived at the La Bella restaurant for her morning shift, still smiling. For the first time in weeks, she had woken up with something other than worries on her mind. She had a boyfriend. It was scary and wonderful at the same time. "Good morning, everyone." She greeted the staff with more energy than usual. Diane, one of the older waitresses, looked at her with a strange expression. "Luna, did you see the newspaper today?" "Newspaper? Who still reads printed newspapers?" Luna joked, tying her apron. "Why?" Diane and Tommy, the other waiter, exchanged meaningful looks. "What happened?" Luna asked, feeling a cold knot in her stomach. "Did someone die?" "That's not it," Tommy began, hesitant. "It's just that there's something you need to see." Before they could continue, Mr. Morrison came out of the office with a newspaper in his hands. His expression was serious. "Luna, can we talk for a second?" Luna's heart began to beat faster. "Of course. Did something happen?" Mr. Morrison led her to an empty table in the corner of the restaurant. He placed the newspaper on the table, open to the business section. And Luna's world stopped. There she was, in the photo, with Oliver. But it wasn't just that. The headline talked about a millionaire CEO. The photo showed a rich, powerful man. The article described Oliver Wright, not the humble man she knew, but a billionaire owner of a technology company. Luna read the article once. Then again, her hands began to shake. "Luna," Mr. Morrison said gently, "are you all right?" She couldn't speak. Her mind was going through each detail, conversation after conversation, lie after lie. Oliver Wright, CEO, billionaire, TechVision, the simple life, working with technology that was nothing exciting, all of it a lie. "I need a minute," Luna managed to say, her voice sounding strange. She stood up from the table and went to the restroom, locking herself in a stall. She leaned against the cold wall and closed her eyes, trying to breathe. He had lied about everything. While she opened her heart, shared her vulnerabilities, shared her struggles, he had been pretending to be poor, pretending to understand, pretending to be someone he was not. And the worst part, she had fallen in love with the man he was pretending to be. Luna wiped the tears that started falling before she even realized she was crying. No, she was not going to fall apart at work. She was not going to give him that power over her. She took a deep breath, washed her face, and left the restroom with her head held high. When she returned to the dining area of the restaurant, Oliver was there, standing, walking, no wheelchair. Luna felt the floor disappear beneath her feet. The wheelchair was a lie too. He was not paralyzed. One more layer of deception, one more stab to her already bleeding heart. Oliver saw her and froze. His eyes widened, and Luna could see the panic in them. "Luna, I can explain. You are walking. That was also a lie." "My God, Oliver," Luna said, her voice frighteningly calm. "I know how this looks." "How this looks?" Luna laughed, but it was a humorless sound. "How does this look, Oliver? Or should I call you Mr. Wright, CEO of TechVision? A billionaire who was having fun pretending to be poor and in a wheelchair?" The other employees in the restaurant had stopped working, watching the scene with a mix of shock and curiosity. "It was not like that." Oliver took a step toward her, but Luna stepped back. Please let me explain. Explain what? The lies? All of them? Luna felt anger start to replace the pain. You lied about who you are. You lied about your life. You lied about the wheelchair. You let me open my heart, tell you about my problems, about how I can barely pay my rent, while you were probably laughing at me. Luna, I never wanted to hurt you. But you did, Luna shouted, and tears finally began to run freely. You made a fool out of me, Oliver. I trusted you. I opened my life to you. I told you things I never tell anyone, and everything was one big lie. What I felt for you was never a lie, Oliver said, his own voice breaking. Luna, please, I was afraid. Afraid that if you knew who I really was, you would not see me as a person anymore. You would see me as money, as an opportunity. So you tested me? Luna interrupted, stunned. You tested me like I was some kind of experiment? You had no right to do that to me. I know, and I am sorry. Sorry is not enough. Luna wiped her tears in anger. You had so many chances to tell me the truth. Yesterday, at the park, when you asked me to be your girlfriend, you could have been honest. But you chose to keep lying. And do you know what is worse? I said I was afraid of getting hurt, and you promised to be by my side. You made me believe I was safe with you. You are safe. I am not. Luna shook her head. How can I be safe with someone who lied about literally everything? How can I trust a single word that comes out of your mouth? Oliver took another step, reaching out his hand. Luna, please. No, Luna stepped back again. Do not come near me. Do not touch me. Do not make this harder than it already is. Luna, it is over, Oliver, Luna said, each word costing a piece of her heart. Whatever we had, it is over. You are not the person I thought you were, and I cannot stay with someone I do not trust. Please do not do this, Oliver begged, tears now also streaming down his face. Give me a chance to fix this, a chance to be honest. You had weeks of chances, Luna said, her voice becoming steadier even as the tears fell. And you chose the lie every time. I have nothing left to give you, Oliver. You broke anything that could have existed between us. Luna, I need you to go, Luna said, turning so she would not have to look at him. And do not come back. Do not look for me. Do not try to call me. Let me forget you. It is the least you can do after everything. I love you, Oliver said, desperate. I know I have no right to say that now, but it is true. I love you. Luna closed her eyes, letting those words wash over her like cold water. Words she would have given anything to hear yesterday. Words that now meant nothing. If you truly loved me, she said without turning around, you would have been honest with me from the beginning. Goodbye, Oliver. The silence that followed was broken only by the sound of the restaurant door opening and closing. When Luna finally gathered the courage to turn around, Oliver was gone. And with him, he had taken any hope she had allowed to grow in her heart. The following days passed in a gray haze for Luna. She woke up, went to work, went home, took care of Mia, and slept. Repeated. The routine continued, but something essential inside her had dimmed. At the restaurant, she still smiled at customers, still did her job efficiently, but Diane noticed the difference right away. Are you all right, dear? Her coworker asked on the third day as they prepared the tables for the lunch shift. I'm great, Luna answered automatically, arranging the silverware with mechanical precision. Luna, I've worked with you for 2 years. I know when you're not all right. Diane, I appreciate your concern, but I'm handling it. I don't need anyone holding my hand. Diane sighed, but didn't insist. She knew Luna well enough to understand that she processed things internally, building walls instead of bridges when she was hurt. Across the city, Oliver was sitting in his executive office, staring at his computer screen without really seeing anything. Jack was standing at the door, watching his friend with growing concern. You've been here for 3 days and haven't done absolutely anything, Jack said. People are starting to notice. Oliver picked up his phone for the 100th time, opened the messages, started typing. Luna, I'm so sorry. Please let me explain. Deleted. I know I messed everything up, but what I felt for you was real. Deleted. I just want you to know that. Deleted. You need to go to her, Jack said. She asked me not to look for her. And you're going to respect that? You're just going to give up? Oliver finally looked at his friend. I hurt her, Jack. Deeply. Maybe the best thing I can do for her right now is leave her alone. But leaving her alone didn't mean doing nothing. That night, Oliver found the address of the owner of the building where Luna lived. With an anonymous bank transfer, he paid 3 months of overdue rent. He didn't leave a name, didn't leave a message. He only made sure she wouldn't lose her home. 2 days later, Luna was checking her bank statements when she noticed something strange. A significant amount had been deposited with the description, "Rent payment, apartment 3B." She frowned and immediately called the owner. "Mr. Jenkins, I don't understand. Someone paid my rent?" "Yes, I received an anonymous transfer 2 days ago. It covered your 3 months of late payments." Luna felt her blood boil. "Anonymous? From where?" "I can't say. It came through a legal intermediary." But Luna didn't need anyone to tell her. She knew exactly who it had been. It took her 2 hours and several calls, but she managed to trace the transfer to Oliver's company. With her hands shaking with anger, she made a reverse transfer of the exact amount, returning every cent. Then she picked up her phone and typed a single message. "I don't need your charity. I don't need you. Stop trying to fix what you broke." She sent it before she could change her mind. Oliver read the message and felt like he had been punched. He only wanted to help. Only wanted to make sure she was all right. But he had done everything wrong. Again. At home, Mia watched Luna with growing concern. Her sister had gone back to being that version of herself that Mia remembered from years ago, functional, efficient, but empty. The glow that had appeared in the last few weeks had disappeared completely. "Lou, do you want to talk about what happened?" Mia tried one night while they ate dinner in silence. "There's nothing to talk about. Things didn't work out, that's all." "But you liked him. I saw how you smiled when you talked about him." Luna set her fork down. "How about sometimes liking someone isn't enough, Mia? Sometimes people lie, and when we find out who they really are, we realize we loved an illusion." "Do you think he didn't really love you?" Luna paused, struggling with her answer. "I think he loved the idea of me, of how I made him feel, but he didn't love me enough to be honest." Mia nodded, but she wasn't convinced. She had seen Oliver with Luna. She had seen how he looked at her sister. That wasn't fake. That night, after Luna went to sleep, Mia picked up her phone. She had Oliver's number. He had given it to her on the day of the meeting at the school, in case she needed anything. Her fingers hesitated over the keyboard, but then she thought of Luna trying to hide her tears in the shower, thinking no one was listening. "Mr. Wright, this is Mia, Luna's sister. I need to talk to you. It's urgent." The reply came in less than a minute. "Mia? Is everything all right? Is Luna all right?" "Physically she is, but she is not truly okay. She is breaking on the inside and pretending everything is fine. I cannot keep watching my sister like this. She needs you, even if she will never admit it." Mia waited, her heart beating fast. She did not know if she was doing the right thing, but she knew she needed to do something. "She's very sad. She tries to hide it, but I know. And I know you are hurting too. I saw how you two were together. Please, do not give up on her. She deserves to be happy, and for the first time in years, she was happy with you." Oliver's answer came after a few minutes. "Thank you for telling me, Mia. But I hurt her deeply. I do not know if she will want to hear me." "Then make her want to. Prove that what you had was real. My sister is stubborn and proud, but her heart is good. She just needs to know she can trust you." Mia hung up and looked toward Luna's bedroom. She had done her part. Now she could only hope and pray that Oliver would find a way to fix what had been broken. Because if anyone deserved a happy ending, it was her sister. The day after Mia's call, Oliver was sitting on the sidewalk in front of Luna's building. He did not knock on the door, did not call, did not try to force anything. He just sat there, leaning against the wall, and waited. Hours went by. People entered and left the building, some looking at him with curiosity, others with suspicion. Oliver did not move. Inside the apartment, Luna was preparing dinner when Mia looked out the window and froze. "Lou, there is someone sitting on the sidewalk in front of the building. Probably someone homeless. Leave him alone," Luna said, stirring the pasta sauce. "I do not think he is homeless. I think it is Oliver." Luna's spoon stopped in the air. "What?" She went to the window and looked down. And there he was, sitting on the sidewalk, his head resting against the wall, just waiting. Luna felt a mix of anger and something she did not want to identify. "How long has he been there?" "I do not know, but it looks like a while." Luna shut the curtains forcefully. He will get tired and leave. But Oliver did not leave. When night fell, he was still there. When it started to get cold, he simply pulled his jacket closer to his body. Mia checked the window every 15 minutes. Lou, he is still there. It is starting to get cold. That is not my problem, Luna said, but her voice did not sound convincing. He is not going to leave, is he? He will eventually. Everyone leaves. But at 10 at night, when Mia went to sleep, Oliver was still on the sidewalk. Luna stayed awake, pretending to watch television, but her eyes kept drifting toward the door. At midnight, she could not take it anymore. She grabbed a coat and walked down the stairs with heavy, irritated steps. Oliver lifted his head when he heard the door open. His eyes were tired, but determined. "Do you not understand when someone tells you to go away?" Luna asked, arms crossed. "I understand perfectly. But I cannot leave without at least trying." "Trying what? To convince me that your lies were justified?" "No. They were not." Oliver stood up slowly, his muscles stiff from sitting so long. "I have no excuse, but I do have an explanation if you want to hear it." Luna looked at him, at the man who had turned her world upside down. Part of her wanted to send him away again. But another part, the part that still hurt when she thought of him, wanted to listen. 5 minutes, she said finally. "You have 5 minutes." Oliver nodded, grateful. "When I was 23, I met a woman. I thought I was in love. I told her about the company I was starting, about my plans. She seemed genuinely interested in me. When the company took off and the money started coming in, she became even more interested. I thought it was love. But then I discovered she was selling company information to competitors. Everything was a lie. She only wanted money." Luna felt something tighten in her chest, but she said nothing. After that, it happened again and again. Women who said they loved me, but only wanted access to my bank account. I closed myself off. I stopped trusting. And when I met you at that cafe, completely by accident, you treated me like a normal person. You did not know who I was. You did not want anything from me. And for the first time in years, I felt seen. "So you decided to lie to keep that feeling?" Luna asked, her voice softer than before. "I was afraid," Oliver admitted, tears now in his eyes. "Afraid that if you knew the truth, everything would change, that you would start seeing me as money, not as Oliver. And the more time passed, the harder it became to tell you. Because the more I knew you, the more I loved you, and the more I feared losing you." "But you lost me anyway," Luna said quietly, "because you chose the lie." "I know, and I'll regret that for the rest of my life." Oliver wiped his tears. "Luna, I'm not asking you to forgive me right now. I'm not asking you to go back to how things were. I'm only asking for a chance to start over. For real this time. No lies, no masks, just Oliver and Luna, getting to know each other honestly." Luna felt her defenses begin to crack. "You hurt me, a lot. I know, and I don't know if I can trust you again. I know, but I want to try. I want to prove I deserve your trust." Luna stayed silent for a long moment, then sighed. "I still feel something for you. I don't know if it's love or just what's left of something I thought was love, but it's there." Oliver took a hesitant step toward her. "Then give me a chance. It doesn't have to be a big one. Just let me try." Luna looked at him, really looked. She saw the vulnerable, frightened, regretful man. And she also saw the man who had made her laugh, who had listened to her stories, who had made her feel special. "Let's talk," she finally said. No lies this time. They sat on the building's front steps. And for the first time, they talked for real. Oliver told her about his childhood, the pressure of building the company, the loneliness of being surrounded by people but never truly connected. Luna told him about her mother, about taking responsibility for Mia when she was only 20, about the constant fear of not being enough. "Mia isn't my biological sister," Luna revealed after a while. "We have different fathers. My mom married her dad when I was 8. He was complicated. He drank, disappeared for weeks. When my mom found out she was sick, she made me promise I'd never let him take Mia." "Why would he take her?" Oliver asked. "I don't know. He never cared about her when my mom was alive. But—" Luna was interrupted by the sound of heavy footsteps. A man was walking up the sidewalk toward the building. He stopped when he saw Luna, a strange smile forming on his face. "Luna, long time." Luna's blood ran cold. "Richard, I came to get my daughter." Luna jumped up from the steps so fast she almost stumbled. Her whole body tensed, instinctively positioning itself between Richard and the building's entrance. "You're not getting anywhere near her," Luna said, her voice low but steady. Richard took a step forward, and Luna noticed something different. Better clothes, combed hair, and almost respectable appearance. That frightened her more than anything. "She's my daughter. I have a right." "A right?" Luna cut him off, her voice now sharp as a blade. "You disappeared for 3 years. 3 years, Richard. You didn't call, didn't send a cent, didn't ask if she was alive, and now you show up talking about rights?" "People change, Luna. I changed." "How convenient." Luna crossed her arms. "Let me guess, you got a new job. Maybe you're running for some position, and suddenly having an abandoned child doesn't look good on your image?" Richard actually looked uncomfortable. "It's not like that." "It's exactly like that." Luna took a step forward, and Richard stepped back. "Do you think I don't know you? You never wanted to be a father. My mom raised Mia alone while you disappeared for weeks, and now that she's not here to protect you, you think you can show up and take my sister?" Oliver watched the exchange, stunned by Luna's strength. She was shaking, but her voice didn't waver. "I'm filing for custody," Richard said, trying to regain control. "I have lawyers. I have resources now. A child should be with her biological father." "A child should be where she is loved and cared for," Luna shot back. "And you never did either." Richard looked at Oliver for the first time. "And who's this? Your rich boyfriend? Do you think money will fix everything?" Before Oliver could answer, Luna laughed, a humorless laugh. "Funny you mention money, considering that's exactly what you're after." "How much, Richard? How much do you think you'll get from back child support or whatever your lawyer convinced you of?" "I want my daughter." "No, you want the appearance of being a father, but Mia isn't a tool for your reputation. She's a person, and she deserves better than you." Richard gave Luna one last look, then looked at the building. "See you in court," he said, turning to leave. When he disappeared around the corner, Luna finally let her knees give out. She sank onto the steps, her hands trembling. Oliver sat beside her. "Luna." "I can't lose her," Luna whispered, tears finally beginning to fall. "I promised my mother. It was the last thing she asked of me. Don't let him take our girl." "I promised." Oliver gently took her hand. "You are not going to lose her. I have an entire legal team. The best lawyers in the city. They will help you." Luna looked at him, torn between pride and despair. "Oliver, I can't." "It's not charity," Oliver said firmly. "It's justice. And more importantly, I'm not going to take control of the situation. You are the main voice here. My lawyers are only going to give you the tools. You're going to fight this battle your way." Luna studied his face, searching for signs that he was trying to take over, trying to save her again. But all she saw was genuine support. "All right," she finally agreed. "But I make the decisions. All of them." In the following days, Luna met with Oliver's legal team. They were professional but respectful, listening to every word she said and following her instructions. "Richard abandoned Mia," Luna explained at the first meeting. "I have records showing he never paid a single cent to support her. Never visited, never called. My mother left me as her legal guardian before she passed away." The lead attorney, a woman named Helen, took notes carefully. "And you have documentation for that?" "I have everything. Every conversation, every medical record where I was present and he wasn't, school reports signed by me. 3 years of proof that I am the only mother Mia knows." When the hearing was scheduled, Luna was nervous but prepared. Oliver wanted to go with her, but Luna asked him to wait outside. "I need to do this on my own," she said, "but knowing you're there helps." The courtroom was intimidating, but Luna walked in with her head held high. Mia was beside her, holding her hand tightly. Richard was on the other side with his lawyer, looking far too confident. The judge began by hearing Richard's case. His lawyer spoke about changes in his life, financial stability, the natural right of a father to be with his daughter. Then it was Luna's turn. She stood, looked directly at the judge, and spoke with a clarity that even surprised herself. "Your Honor, I don't have the wealth Mr. Richard has. I don't have a big house or a fancy car. What I do have are 3 years of sleepless nights when Mia was sick. I have school meetings where I was the only one there. I have tears dried and dreams encouraged. I have love, dedication, and the promise I made to my mother that Mia would always have a home." She turned toward Richard. "You say you've changed, but change is proven through actions, not through words in a courtroom. Where were you when Mia had pneumonia and spent a week in the hospital? Where were you when she won the award for Best Student of the Year? Where were you at every birthday, every Christmas, every moment she needed a father?" Richard had no answer. Luna continued, her voice growing stronger. "Family is not about blood. It's about who shows up, and I showed up every day for 3 years, and I will keep showing up for the rest of my life." The hearing lasted hours, with witnesses, documents, statements. But in the end, the judge brought down the gavel. Custody remains with Luna Hayes. Mr. Richard may request supervised visitation if he wishes to establish a relationship with the child, but I see no reason to remove the child from a stable and loving environment. Luna felt her knees almost give out with relief. Mia hugged her tightly, crying, "You did it, Lou. You did it." Outside the courtroom, Oliver was waiting. When he saw Luna's face, he knew immediately. "We won," Luna said, and for the first time in weeks, her smile was genuine and complete. Oliver hugged her, and Luna allowed herself to stay there for a moment, letting herself feel the victory, the relief, the support. "Thank you," she murmured against his shoulder, "for helping me without trying to save me." "You saved yourself," Oliver replied. "I was just here to watch." When they pulled apart, Luna looked at him honestly. "Oliver, I need time to process all of this. Richard, my feelings. I need to breathe and find myself again." Oliver nodded, even though his eyes showed disappointment. "I understand. How much time do you need?" "I don't know. I just know I need to be sure of what I'm feeling before taking another step." "Then I will wait," Oliver said simply. "For as long as necessary." The following weeks brought a peace Luna hadn't felt in years. With the custody issue resolved, she could finally breathe. And Oliver kept his word. He waited, without pressure, without intruding. The first date after the court hearing happened 2 weeks later. Oliver sent a simple message. "Coffee tomorrow? No pressure. Just wanted to see how you're doing." Luna smiled when she read it. "All right, same cheap ice cream shop?" "Where else?" When they met, there was a lightness in the air that had not been there before. There were no more lies weighing on them, no more secrets. Just two people trying to figure out if they could rebuild something that had been broken. "So," Oliver began, licking his vanilla ice cream, "how is Mia?" "Relieved. Happy. She even joked the other day that she should get in trouble more often just to see me argue in court." Luna laughed. "I told her she could keep her normal teenage drama. Thank you very much." Oliver laughed, and Luna realized how much she had missed that sound. The dates continued. Always casual, always light. They walked in the park, talked about everything and nothing, laughed at silly stories. Oliver told her about disasters at the office. Luna shared new absurd adventures from the restaurant. "There was a customer last week," Luna said during one of their outings, "who insisted our lasagna tasted like a tire." "A tire?" I asked how he knew what a tire tasted like, and he had no answer. He ended up eating everything and still ordered dessert. "People are fascinating," Oliver commented, smiling. "Fascinating is a polite word. I would say strange, but it works." 1 month after the court hearing, Luna casually mentioned that she had never seen where Oliver worked. "Want to see it?" Oliver asked, surprised. "Only if it is not a bother. I am curious to see you in your natural environment, like a documentary about corporate wildlife." Oliver laughed. "Tomorrow then. But I warn you, it is not as exciting as you imagine." The next day, Luna entered the TechVision building with wide eyes. It was impressive, full of glass and steel, modern and bright, but what impressed Luna the most was seeing Oliver in action. He greeted employees by name, asked about their families, truly listened when someone spoke. In a meeting Luna watched from a distance, he was firm but respectful, hearing every opinion before making a decision. "He is a good boss," an employee commented, noticing Luna watching. "I have worked for many arrogant executives who treated the team like numbers. Oliver is not like that. He really cares." Luna felt something warm inside her chest. This was the same man she had met at the cafe. Wealth had not changed him. He had only hidden that part of himself out of fear. When the afternoon ended, Oliver took her to his office. "So," he asked, nervous, "what did you think?" I think you are the same person I met on that confusing day at the cafe, Luna said honestly. Rich or poor, in a wheelchair or not, your essence is the same. You're kind, attentive, funny when you relax. I needed to see that with my own eyes. And now that you have seen it, Luna took a step toward him. Now I know I was right to give you another chance, because the man I fell in love with is still here. He was just hiding behind a lot of fear. Oliver held her face gently. I promise I will never hide anything from you again. I know, Luna smiled, and if you do, I will drag you into court again. I am good at that now. They laughed, and then they kissed, soft, promising, real. In the following weeks, their relationship grew in a healthy and honest way. Oliver met Mia properly, and the three of them went out together several times. Mia approved immediately. He is nice, Lou, Mia said one night. And you smile again. You smile for real. Luna realized it was true. The spark that had disappeared was back, but this time it was stronger, more real. One afternoon, Oliver sent a mysterious message. Can you meet me tomorrow at 3? I have a surprise. Surprises make me nervous after everything. Luna replied, This one is good, I promise. The next day, Luna followed Oliver's instructions until she stopped in front of a very familiar place, the cafe where everything had started. She pushed the door, making the small bell ring, and froze. The cafe was empty except for Oliver. But it was not simply empty, it was transformed. There were simple, elegant flowers on every table, candles lit to create a warm and gentle light, and on the walls were printed photos of moments they had shared. At the park, at the ice cream shop, laughing together. Oliver was standing in the middle of the cafe, dressed casually, but with an adorable nervousness in his expression. Oliver, Luna whispered, looking around in wonder. What is all this? It is the place where I met you, Oliver began, taking a step toward her. The place where I made the mistake of starting our story with a lie. So I thought it would be fitting to come back here and start again, the right way this time. He knelt down, and Luna's heart began to beat faster. Luna Hayes, you are the most incredible person I have ever met. You are strong, funny, kind, and have a heart bigger than anyone who has ever crossed my path. I messed everything up once, and you were generous enough to give me a second chance. I don't want to be your secret boyfriend or your temporary experience. I want to be your official boyfriend, your partner, your best friend. So Luna Hayes, will you be my girlfriend? For real this time? No lies, no fears, just the two of us being completely honest? Luna felt tears of happiness fill her eyes. She looked at that man kneeling in front of her, vulnerable and sincere, and she knew her answer. Yes, she said, pulling him up and kissing him. 1,000 times yes. Luna was still processing the moment when Oliver pulled her to the center of the cafe. The candles flickered around them, creating a magical atmosphere that felt like it belonged in a fairy tale. I can't believe you did all this, Luna said, looking around again. How did you manage to clear out the entire cafe? Let's say the owner owes me a few favors, Oliver smiled. And when I explained that I needed the place to ask the most incredible woman in the world to be my girlfriend, he not only agreed but helped decorate. The most incredible woman in the world? Luna teased, wiping her happy tears. Are you sure? Because I still drop plates regularly and my ability to burn water is legendary. That's exactly why, Oliver laughed, pulling her closer. You're real, Luna. Imperfect, funny, stubborn, and absolutely perfect in your own way. You're getting too sentimental. Soon you'll start reciting poetry. I can do that if you want. Please don't. For the sake of our relationship, Luna joked, but her eyes were shining with love. Oliver took her hand, suddenly serious. Luna, I want to be the best boyfriend for you. I want to support you, make you laugh, be by your side in everything. I know I messed up at the beginning, but I promise I'll spend the rest of the time you give me proving that I deserve this second chance. Luna gently touched his face. You're already proving it. Every day. They stayed in the cafe for another hour, talking, laughing, planning. When they finally left, Luna felt lighter than she had felt in years. In the following days, Luna went back to her routine at the restaurant, but now with a renewed glow. Diane noticed right away. Someone looks radiant. Her coworker commented. Let me guess, you two are back together? We are, Luna confirmed, unable to hide her smile. For real this time. About time. You were unbearable when you two were apart. Hey, I wasn't unbearable. Dear, you were serving tables like a robot. Unbearable is an understatement. 1 week after the official boyfriend request, Oliver called Luna with a proposal. I have an opening at the company, executive assistant. I thought of you immediately. Oliver, before you refuse, listen. You're organized, smart, and handle pressure well. You would be perfect for the position. And yes, I know we're dating, but that has nothing to do with the offer. You really would be good at the job. Luna bit her lip, tempted but hesitant. I don't know. People will think I only got the job because I'm with you. Then don't tell anyone we're together, at least not at the beginning. Do the interview like any other candidate. If you're chosen, it's on your own merit. Luna considered it. The idea of working in just one place, with regular hours and benefits, was tempting. All right, but I'll do the real interview. With HR, without you involved. Deal. 3 days later, Luna was sitting in the waiting room at TechVision, wearing her best interview outfit, a white blouse and black pants she had bought at a thrift store. There were 3 other candidates waiting, all of them looking extremely qualified. When it was her turn, Luna entered the interview room with fake confidence. The interviewer, a woman named Karen, gave her a professional smile. Miss Hayes, welcome. Tell me about your experience. Luna took a deep breath and began. She talked about years working in customer service, about managing multiple tasks under pressure, about dealing with difficult personalities and unexpected situations. And how would you handle a demanding boss? Karen asked. Luna smiled. Well, I've worked with customers who tried to pay with 2019 coupons and others who thought lasagna tasted like rubber. I think I can handle anything. Karen laughed, taking notes. You have a sense of humor. That's important here. 2 hours later, Luna received the call. She had gotten the job. On my own merit, she told Oliver later, pride in her voice. Karen didn't even mention you during the interview. I got it by myself. I knew you would do it, Oliver kissed her. Welcome to TechVision, Miss Hayes. Luna started working the following Monday. During the first week, she kept her relationship with Oliver a secret, wanting to prove her value without the shadow of favoritism. But working so close to Oliver and pretending they were only boss and employee was harder than she imagined. On Wednesday, Oliver called her extension. Miss Hayes, could you come to my office, please? Luna walked in, professional, with a notepad in her hand. Yes, Mr. Wright. Oliver waited until she closed the door, then smiled. I missed you. Oliver, we are working. I know, but you're only 1 floor away, and I cannot kiss you. It is torture. He stood and walked toward her. Just 1 quick kiss. Someone could walk in, but Luna was already laughing as he pulled her into a hug. It was worth the risk, Oliver murmured against her lips. You are impossible. But you love me this way. This became a routine. Oliver came up with creative excuses to call Luna to his office. I need you to find a file that definitely does not exist. There is an urgent problem with the printer that works perfectly. I need your opinion on the color of this pen. Luna always went, rolling her eyes but smiling, knowing exactly what he wanted. One of these days someone will catch us, she warned after he stole another kiss. Then maybe we should tell people? Not yet. Let me prove my worth first. As the weeks passed, their workplace romance created hilariously awkward moments. Once, Luna was carrying coffee to a meeting when she bumped into Oliver in the hallway. They looked at each other, and Luna had to hold back a laugh at the face he made. Good morning, Mr. Wright, she said formally. Good morning, Miss Hayes, he replied with equal formality, though his eyes were full of amusement. When she walked past him, Oliver whispered, You look beautiful today. Luna almost spilled the coffee. Another time, Oliver was in an important video conference when Luna walked in without knocking, forgetting he was busy. Sorry, she said, freezing at the door. I did not know you were. Oliver quickly muted the microphone. It is all right. What is it? Nothing important. It can wait. Go on with your meeting before they think you are having a nervous breakdown. But the best moment happened when Luna was organizing files in Oliver's office while he was in a meeting. She was humming absent-mindedly when Oliver walked in, not alone, but with Jack. And here's the new executive assistant everyone loves, Oliver was saying. Luna, this is Jack, my vice president. Luna turned, professional. Nice to meet you, Mr. Wilson. Jack looked between the two of them, a slow smile forming. So you are the famous Luna. Oliver turned red. Luna did too. He talks about you all the time, Jack continued, clearly amused. All the time. It is, Luna said this, Luna did that. I thought you were a myth. Jack, Oliver warned. Oh, come on, let me embarrass you both. It is fun. Luna could not hold back a laugh. I like him, she said to Oliver. Of course you do. You two are going to team up against me. And that was exactly what happened. As the days passed, Oliver and Luna's romance brought lightness not only to them, but to the whole office. There were laughs, sweet moments, and a sense that something special was growing there. 4 months later, the secret had become public knowledge at TechVision. It happened gradually, a look that lasted a bit too long here, a knowing smile there, until everyone simply knew. The reactions were mixed. Some employees thought it was sweet, others whispered about favoritism. But Luna had proved her worth again and again, working harder than anyone else, arriving early and leaving late. Let them talk, Oliver said one morning when Luna mentioned hearing mean comments. You earned your place here, anyone can see that. I know. It is just frustrating sometimes, Luna sighed. But what can you do, right? There will always be people who prefer gossip over work. Exactly. And those people do not deserve a second of your attention. Luna smiled. When did you become so wise? Since I met a stubborn waitress who taught me what truly matters in life. Oh, stop. You are going to make me cry during work hours. The truth was that Luna had never been so happy. She had a job she loved, a healthy and honest relationship, and Mia was thriving at school. For the first time in years, she was not just surviving, she was living. On a late Friday afternoon, Oliver called her through the office line. Miss Hayes, can you come to my office? Luna laughed. They still joked about being formal sometimes. On my way, Mr. Wright. But when she walked into the office, Oliver looked more nervous than she had ever seen him. Everything okay? She asked, closing the door. Yes. No. Maybe. Oliver took a deep breath. I have a question for you. Okay, now you're scaring me. It's nothing bad. Actually, I hope it's something very good. He stepped around the desk. Do you have plans tomorrow night? Other than watching that whale documentary with Mia? No. Cancel it. I want to make dinner for you. At my house. Just the two of us. Luna smiled. A romantic dinner? Who knew the billionaire CEO could be sweet? Only for you. Oliver kissed her gently. So, is that a yes? It's a yes. The next evening, Luna rang Oliver's doorbell with butterflies in her stomach. She had worn something nice, a simple green dress that Mia had insisted was perfect. Oliver opened the door, and Luna had to hold back a laugh. He was wearing an apron that said "Kiss the Cook," with flour on his face. Don't laugh, he warned. Cooking is harder than it looks. You look adorable, Luna stepped inside, glancing around. The house looked beautiful, with candles everywhere and soft music playing. Seriously, Oliver, this is amazing. Wait until you see dinner. Or better yet, wait until you taste it. Can't promise it's edible. But it was. Oliver had made homemade pasta, salad, and even dessert. They ate while laughing and talking about everything. Future plans, dreams, funny memories. Remember when we met? Luna said, sipping her wine. I sat at the wrong table. You were pretending to be paralyzed, that furious woman. It was the most disastrous date in history. It was perfect, Oliver corrected. It was exactly what it needed to be. Chaotic, confusing, and completely unforgettable. Romantic. Who knew you had that in you? After dinner, Oliver led her to the garden. There were fairy lights hanging from the trees, creating a magical atmosphere. Luna, Oliver began, holding her hands, these past months have been the best of my life. You've taught me about honesty, strength, and loving without fear. You made me want to be a better person. Oliver, let me finish before I lose my nerve, he said with a nervous smile. I started our story the wrong way, with lies and fear. But you gave me a second chance. A chance to start over and build something real. And I don't want any more new beginnings. I want forever. Oliver knelt down, pulling a small box from his pocket. Luna covered her mouth, tears already forming. Luna Hayes, will you marry me? Not because I have money or work in a fancy office, but because I love you. Because you make my days better just by being in them. Because I can't imagine my life without you. Luna was crying and laughing at the same time. Did you rehearse that speech? About 20 times. Was it terrible? It was perfect, you silly man. Luna pulled him up. And yes, I want to marry you. Oliver slid the ring onto her finger. Simple, elegant, exactly her style, and they kissed under the fairy lights, with the world feeling perfect in that moment. The next 2 months were a delightful whirlwind. Mia was more excited than anyone, helping with every detail of the wedding. "There have to be yellow flowers," she insisted. They were Mom's favorite. "Then we'll have yellow flowers," Luna said, touched. They kept the wedding small and intimate. Only close family and dear friends. No extravagance, no excess, just love and celebration. The morning of the wedding arrived sunny and perfect. The chosen venue was an outdoor garden, simple but beautiful, with an arch covered in yellow and white flowers. Luna was in the preparation room with Mia, who was helping her adjust the dress. It was a simple, flowing white dress that made her feel like herself, just a more beautiful version. "You look beautiful, Lou," Mia said, her eyes shining. "Mom would be so proud." Luna hugged her sister carefully, not wanting to wrinkle the dress. "I wouldn't have made it here without you." "Of course you would. You're the strongest person I know. It's easier to be strong when you have someone by your side." The music began. It was time. Mia and Luna walked together down the improvised aisle between the chairs. The guests stood, but Luna only had eyes for Oliver, who was at the altar with tears in his eyes and the biggest smile she had ever seen. When they reached the altar, Mia kissed Luna's cheek and took her seat in the front row. Oliver took Luna's hands, and both of them were trembling with emotion. The officiant began the ceremony, but soon they reached the part that truly mattered. The vows. Oliver went first. "Luna, I promise to always be honest with you. I promise to support you without trying to control you. I promise to make you laugh even on the bad days. I promise to be your partner in everything, and I promise to love you with everything I am, every day, for the rest of my life." Luna wiped her tears before she began. "Oliver, you taught me that it's possible to start over, that mistakes don't define who we are, but what we do after them. I promise to trust you. I promise to share my fears and my joys. I promise to be your best friend, your partner, and your greatest supporter. And I promise to love you with patience, respect, and all the honesty in my heart. I now pronounce you husband and wife," the officiant said, smiling. "You may kiss the bride." And Oliver kissed Luna while everyone applauded, whistled, and laughed. It was a kiss full of promises, of shared futures, of love built on truth. The reception was exactly how they wanted it, relaxed, full of laughter and stories. Jack gave a hilarious speech about how Oliver had been impossible with how in love he was. Diane from the restaurant told embarrassing stories about Luna, and Mia made everyone cry with her words about love and family. But the best moment was the first dance. Oliver and Luna were in the center of the dance floor, moving awkwardly to a romantic song. Neither of them was a great dancer, and it became obvious when Oliver stepped on Luna's foot. "Ow. Are you trying to make me limp at my own wedding?" Luna joked. "Sorry, I warned you dancing wasn't my strength. You also said cooking wasn't, and that dinner was great. Beginner's luck." They laughed, stumbled again, and laughed even more. The guests watched with smiles on their faces, witnessing not a perfect couple, but a real one, with flaws, missteps, and genuine love. "Hey," Oliver said softly, pulling Luna closer. "Thank you." "For what?" "For giving me a second chance, for teaching me to be better, for being you." Luna rested her head on his shoulder. "Thank you for waiting, for not giving up, for showing me it's worth trusting." They kept dancing, clumsy but happy, surrounded by people who loved them. There were no more lies between them, no more masks, only Oliver and Luna, two imperfect people who had chosen to love each other honestly, with all the flaws and wonders that come with it. And as they danced under the stars, with the future stretching brightly ahead of them, both knew they had found exactly what they were looking for. Not a perfect fairy tale, but something better. Something real. What did you think of Luna and Oliver's story? Leave your opinion in the comments. Rate this story from 0 to 10. What's your score? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow all our stories, and feel free to watch more touching stories here on the final screen.